You might be wondering what kind of fees you'll be facing if a county court bailiff gets involved to enforce your debt. I've got all the info that you need right here. So first off, let's make sure that you're really dealing with county court bailiffs. There are two civil courts in England and Wales, the County Court and the High Court. The High Court typically handles larger debt cases or debts not covered by the Consumer Credit Agreement. So, if your creditor has transferred the case to the High Court, you'll be dealing with a High Court Enforcement Officer, that's a HCEO, instead of a County Court Bailiff, and their fees will be different. Don't worry, we'll touch on the HCEO fees later, but for now, let's focus on the fees you'll be facing with the County Court Bailiffs. Here's how the whole process works. County Court Bailiffs follow a 3-step process to enforce a debt, with the goal of resolving it as soon as possible. The bailiff's fees increase as they move from one stage to the next, so it's best to reach a solution as soon as possible. Here's a breakdown of the fees. Notice of enforcement, that's £75. The bailiff will write to you either asking for a full payment or to agree on a repayment plan secured against your valuables. It's called a controlled goods agreement. If you don't make any arrangements within 7 working days, they'll come out to your address and they'll try to collect the debt by repossessing your items. As soon as the bailiff sends this letter, a fee of £75 is added to your debt. So enforcement is £235 plus 7.5% of debt above £1,000. If the bailiff has come out to your address, they'll charge a fixed fee of £235 plus 7.5% of the value for the debt above £1,000. So for example, if the bailiff is pursuing a debt of £2,000, you'll be charged £235 plus 7.5% of the £1,000 because that's the difference between £2,000 and £1,000, which comes to £310 for the enforcement stage only. If the bailiff has to come back again, you'll be charged this fee again. However, if you're deemed vulnerable, you might be able to avoid this fee. Just contact the bailiff and explain your situation. Sale, that's £110 plus 7% of the debt above £1,000, which works out like before. So if the bailiff takes control of your goods, they'll store them before selling them at auction. This process comes with an additional cost of £110 plus 7.5% of the value of the debt above £1,000. So as you can see, the bailiff fees can add up quickly. And that's not all. The bailiff may also charge you for other costs associated with the process, such as locksmiths or towing fees for your vehicle. But if you're dealing with a High Court Enforcement Officer, brace yourself because you may be charged even more of the legal costs paid by your creditor. But if they charge you more than the fee allowed by law, then you should make an official complaint. Can county court bailiffs force entry into your property? In most cases, no. They can't just break down your front door. However, in some limited instances, they can use reasonable force to enter, like if they're collecting HMRC tax debt or some court fines. But they must provide evidence of their identity and come at a reasonable hour. High Court enforcement officers, on the other hand, may be able to force entry onto a business property, but this depends on the details of the case. Now let's talk about High Court bailiff fees. These guys use a different fee structure and their fees can really add up. The initial fee for contact is £75, followed by a fixed fee of £190 for the first visit. And if you miss a payment, you'll be charged £495. The sales stage of the process costs £525 plus 7.5% of the value of the money owed above £1,000. And just a heads up, if a creditor transfers a debt over to the High Court for enforcement, the court of taking it to the High Court can be passed from the creditor to the debtor. If you're struggling with all of this, don't worry. There's help available. Get advice and support from a debt charity or organisation like Citizens Advice. They offer a great service, so don't hesitate to reach out to them. You could also look into debt solutions. Some of them lower your monthly repayments and some can even write some of your debt off. There are pros and cons to them all, so it's best to get a full understanding of all of them. Below this video, I've got a short form and it'll ask you a few questions like how much debt do you owe and how many people do you owe. At the end of the form, it'll connect you to a company that I've partnered with to provide you with all the information you need. So click the link, Go and check it out and let me know how you get on.